Okay, so this is by someone who did the 14-day challenge and completed it. And this is their day 1 and this is day 14. Now, I don't know exactly what you did to improve this much. I don't know if you watched more videos. I don't know if you got critiques and paintovers from your peers. Um, I'm not sure what you did, but it looks amazing. Your grays have balanced out. You've used less whites. Your eyes have taken more shape and form. Um, you definitely have a solid core shadow going across half the face. That's great. I'm not sure if you were the same person I critiqued yesterday, other day 11. I don't think so, but it doesn't matter. Thank you for giving us your day 1 so that we can look at it. Guys, please try the 14-day challenge. It'll change the way you draw faces forever. It'll get you more control over your grayscales, and it'll help you through the more difficult faces from referencing. So if you get a really, really good hold over the order in which you draw, like the order you take to draw a feature, so you draw shadows here, some other stuff here, that'll help you, that'll carry into working with references, and you'll be able to break down references a lot easier. Um, Congratulations to the person who completed this 14-day challenge. I'm very, very proud of you. And I always promise that if you guys finish them, I will include them in the videos, and I'll probably, if there's more, I'll probably do a private video for every one of them. Not private, like meaning like I'll record them without going live, and I'll post them on YouTube for everyone to see. There are a couple of issues, and I do recommend trying to get to me to look at your day 13 or day 11 before um, you're finished, because you probably want me to look at them just a little bit, just that I could sort of throw you back on track. There are some issues here that we need to look at. So one of the key elements of the 14-day challenge is not to draw anything that has expressions on it. Expressions are dangerous to draw every day for 14 days, because you will only be able to draw that face and that expression, or it will become the norm for all your faces, or you won't be able to sort of figure your way around other expressions. So it's always best to ground yourself by learning one core expression, which is basically expressionless. No movement in the eyebrows, no movement in the lips. It's very, very boring face. And yeah, it's really annoying to draw that for 14 days straight, but trust me, it was really worth it. We're here not to draw a human being. You're not drawing a human. You're drawing a building. You're drawing a structure. That structure is the human face. And that's what we need to start doing from now on. We need to start thinking about the face as a structure. So the first thing that popped out at me is the fact that you're that wait a second. If these are the actual pixels, then this is not going to work out. Let me see if I can find this on the community. I'm sorry if I'm like really winded. Save image as desktop, save. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Damn it. What the fuck? Okay, where is it? It's saving, and I don't know where it's saving to. Oh, there it is. Okay. Damn it! I'm so sorry, guys. 1 second. It saves as a small file. It's really dumb. Don't save small. That'll do. Sorry about that. This belongs to Alex. Alex is here tonight. Well, welcome, Alex. If you're gonna be watching this on YouTube, also, congratulations to you. But yes, let's do this. The face is divided into 4 quarters. Yes, we all know this is correct. But you cannot have features deviate into the outer quarters because that's not how the body functions. That's not how the face functions. We need to pull these features back toward and center them toward the head, the front face of the human head, just like this. We also need to make sure that we're not overstating certain skeletal altitudes. So this needs to be pushed up this way. The cheekbones can't be so stated that they actually form their own little, like they're so large they seem to have their own orbit. Sometimes we overstate certain features because maybe that's our taste, and we don't really have anyone to guide us around how much is too much. So for us, too much looks just perfectly normal because it's our taste. So our taste hides away the disproportionate scale. So the cheekbones, these cheekbones are perfectly wonderful if they were realistic, but what you had before was a little bit too stated. They were a little bit fake looking or cosmetic or enhanced. Always remember to stay classy. So if you want something to look certain, ways exaggerated, a little bit does a lot. Alright, as for the lips, they are smiling, but I'm just trying to align them across the horizontal line. Corners of the eyes. Now let's talk about the eyes. If I were to give you a grade on your general 14-day challenge, I'd give you like an A to A minus. That A minus is entirely accredited, the minus is entirely accredited to your eyes. Your eyes, if I were to measure your eyes and give them a grade on their own, they'd probably have a B minus. I know you shouldn't grade, and I know that sucks, but I'm just trying to give you I'm just trying to represent to you how they're not successful for one really key feature, and something I talk about a lot in the how-to videos that guide you guys, which is eyes are spherical. They are not ovals. You drawing the eye as anything but spherical means that you are pulling out of your visual library that's been influenced by cartooning, by anime, or what have you. And that is the biggest no-no if you want to work in a field where they expect realism out of you. If you're only ever going to draw certain kinds of eyes that have this really elongated, overly stylized look that sort of undermines the realism and believability, you're crippling yourself as an artist. So get into those shapes, start drawing shapes. I'm just saying everything every other art book has ever said. Anywhere they've always talked about making sure that you're drawing the features with a core shape underneath. And the eyes are those shapes that have or those features that have a very, very prominent circular shape. And that circular shape is entirely a reflection of the function of the eye. So if you have a hip joint, wouldn't you want your hip joint to be more circular and rounded off than squared? Because you don't want any edges, you want to increase mobility. So the mobility of the eye, the fact that we can look everywhere, is because there aren't any edges in the eye. If it was an oval would not be able to rotate properly. It would be really weird if an oval rotated. If your eyeballs were oval, it would look really weird when they rotated. You guys want to remember that it's not a pulled, it's not a stretched sphere. It's not a rice grain. If it rotated, it would just look really creepy. You just have like these massive cartoon eyes that, like when eyes like stick out this way when they're like really excited. This is how our eyeballs would look when they rotated. Because it's oval. So ovals don't rotate. They rotate around the center of gravity. So they'd be rotating like a disc. So just remember this creepy picture in your mind. Spheres rotate perfectly. Even though it's not a perfect sphere, they still rotate very, very well. So there is zero obstruction because it's a continuous side. Almost a right sphere. So this is it before. You see what I mean by overly stated features? And after. Look at the eyes especially. After. You also need some core shadow, so you have this wonderful core shadow system happening down here. And what I would want to see from you is also the core shadows and the main shadows that are caused by the eye socket. So we've got the shadow cast by the eyebrows down, and then the shadow of the corner of the eye carrying up into the temple. Just like so. This is also a core shadow. It's also just as important as the shadow that cuts across half the face. Then we've got the fact that these cheekbones need to be closed off earlier, because you're telling me you've just pretty much made these cheekbones the largest they can be. You're telling me these cheekbones are so large they travel around like, basically the cheekbones you drew are the Maleficent cheekbones, which are like so large they wrap around the side of the face. And this is not realistic. This is not how it happens in real life. So we want to make sure that when the 14-day challenge, we're practicing all the norms so that if we do decide to deviate away from them, we can with a grounded knowledge of what's normal. So we know not to do too much. Okay. And always zoom out. What the heck am I doing? Then there's the upper eyelid. The upper eyelid is a fold of the upper skin down over the eyelid. And so what we need is a nice clean edge and a representation of where that brow bone folds over the eye, just like this. So the 14-day challenge, if you do want it to be something that you and I do together, that's only in private tutoring, I'm afraid. So I don't offer critiques for anyone who hasn't completed at least 11 days. And I don't offer critiques to every single day. I only offer one. I'm so sorry. But it is quite an intensified program, and I won't be able to offer it for everyone for free, so that's why I don't offer it for free. But I do offer videos that guide you along what you should be doing. Previous ones, when I used to critique them a while back, I used to critique 14-day challenges. There needs to be a shadow on the lower eyelid, just like so. Moving all the way down. On the lower eyelid, very similar to the upper eyelid, it has a fold. An area where the skin, that's not always a fold, there isn't always, unless you have bulgy eyes, but there isn't a fold. It's more of an angle moving upward. And what we're doing right now is we're applying realism. It's just going to be the same face that you love and know, that you drew. But what we're doing is we're enhancing this face by bringing in a sense of realism. The inner corner of the eye is illuminated because of moisture. And I'm going to bring down the value of the eyeball all the way. We depend too much on the white of the eyes to differentiate between the eyeball and rest of the face, where we should be sculpting eyelids and eyebrow bones. Instead, we just throw a bunch of white and hope everyone reads it. It's not how it works. I'm going to carry some more shadow where eyelashes cluster. They cluster just along the lower eyelid on the outside, on the outer corner, and then cluster together out there. You got the eyebrows bushy on the inner corner protecting the eye this way, and you've got long lashes on the outer corner protecting the eye this way. So this whole system is just to protect your eyeballs. The reason why we have lashes, and it's just to protect the eyeballs. Nocturnal animals, animals that are like hunt at night, you see they have two lids in their eyes to help from sunlight while sleeping. It's all just a matter of function, how this particular eye functions in its environment. I believe that's why they have two lids. They have two lids for this other reason as well, the way their eyes are shaped. So we just have the one lid because we're not really nocturnal animals. So remember the bottom lid. Please don't forget to draw the bottom lid. It's quite vital to the function of the eyeball. Okay. Outer lid on the top gets some light because it's the area where there's very, very little cast shadow effect. These are all stuff that I've talked about. The light switch changes the color of the brow bone hair. Areas of the hair that hover over the brow bone. And the outer ones just stay pretty much dark. The outer corners of the eyebrows. I'm going to zoom out now. Sorry, guys. Make sure to taper off every eyebrow. Don't just paint in the eyebrow and not add in a shadow or a halo around the eyebrow. Every single one of those hairs casts a shadow. So I think about around 2 weeks ago is when I announced that I'll be critiquing 14-day challengers, and so far 2 have completed it, or almost. I'm very happy that you guys took that announcement to heart. I really will critique your work. Just give me something to critique, give me some content. Show me that you guys are trying, and I'll more than happily sort of involve myself in your development, even if it's not private tutoring. These classes that we do here today are what I offer those who can't really afford private tutoring yet. Okay, in the corners of this lip, I'm gonna give them a halo as well, because it isn't a line, and I want to show that they're smiling. So it's not a line, it's more of a cluster of fat. Some light on the lower bit of the lips. And that's pretty much how lips would fold if you guys are starting to see it read. That's how they would fold if they were laughing. And then we have the cheeks on either side. Also clustering and folding and clashing together. Then, and please be aware that when you have smiling characters, then please, if you are going to start the 14-day challenge, do not give me smiling or frowning or angry characters. I'm making an exception for this one. But please remember that I do not want to see any features. If I will give you guys, and enough of you have completed the 14-day challenge, I will give you guys a lesson on expressions, how easy it is to create expressions. But I need enough of you to do this so I can dedicate one specific class for it. But back to this. Never, never, never do this or this or anything similar or anywhere near to that. If you want to show the lips having affected the cheeks and the cheeks having affected the eyes, and we have that sort of lip, that sort of cheek fold right here, the laugh line, you have to thicken your brush and decrease your opacity. Thicken your brush all the way, because that's what a young face, that's how a young face would cluster. So now we've allowed that beautiful smile to affect the rest of the face. Just like this. Does everybody see how that works? Sorry, I should probably drink some tea. I keep coughing at you guys. Any questions so far? As well. Anyone interested in asking questions? Dimples. Okay, dimples are a really, really good question. Thank you for that. Dimples are very, very easy to do. Please, what you cannot do is this. Don't do this, because that's not what's happening. You're using lines. This is you using lines. Dimples are a sudden valley in the big scheme of things. So what we would be seeing if the light was facing us this way, we'd be seeing the side of that dimple. So instead of a dark, you bring a light, because we're looking at the lit side. So when you want to throw in a dimple in this kind of light source, this 45-degree angle, you have to throw in a light, not a dark, and then make it match the rest of the face. So it's sort of an angle that we're looking at, and we see the side of that dimple being pushed in. If there are shadows, the shadows depend, of course, on the intensity of the dimple, where that dimple sits on the rest of the face. But we would be seeing the side of that because the dimple is like a really small laugh line. So don't go throwing in a big black line and hoping it reads. It'll read, but only as a line. It'll flatten your image. Where you do place darks is after you've placed the lights, zoom out, and the darks might be on the very, very deepest part right before the dimple starts, right beside it. And it's not even dark. It's just the slightest little change in shade. I'm going to zoom out. I'm so sorry about my coughs. I'm going to zoom out and extend this cheek dimple just a little further. You see, these dimples are more realistic than just throwing a big blotch of dark in there. It's not going to read. It's not going to read to the trained eye. They're just going to say, oh, what an amateur looking dimple. You don't want people talking about you like that. Okay, and these dimples carry all the way down there. I happen to have dimples, so I'm quite a professional in this field. I'm joking. A little bit more here. So would you see the dimple as catching a different light source, like reflecting light? No, it catches the same light source, the face. The primary light source is what's revealing the dimple, because the dimple is facing forward. The dimple side is facing forward that we're looking at. Okay. This little bit over here. Don't carry the shadow all the way to the nose. Leave a little space of light beside the nose to show where the cheek isn't connected to the nose. That place where oil likes to pool. Okay, where else? Other coarse shadows that move along the face. The face is framed by these structures. And I'm going to bring down the highlights on these cheeks and insert them somewhere else where the highest point of the cheek sits, because now she's laughing. So the highest point of the cheek is a little bit higher. It's starting to look like that actress from V for Vendetta. I forgot her stupid name. Always forget it. A little bit of extra hair cluster on the inner corner. A little too dark on these little areas. Again, we want to see the waterline take shape. Almost done. For eyebrows, I can't really cover eyebrows right now. I'll have to cover them another day. But don't forget the on switch. The bottom of the lips should have a little bit more shadow. So sorry about my coughs, I really am. Stupid tonsils. And there will be a cast shadow from those lips onto the chin. And you don't have to bring in a whole new shade, it's just an edge that you have to create. Amazing job altogether. I'm really proud of you for completing the 14-day challenge. It is a very intense thing, and it's not the easiest thing to do. I might place a little shadow line over just the tip, just to show that the nose is the highest point. It's not the easiest challenge to take on, and it's something it's like a trophy you should carry with you. And it teaches you to continue to draw every day for another 40 days. Imagine doing a 40-day challenge, how much you'll have improved. It's sort of my way of tricking you guys into studying. The inner corners can be a little bit more illuminated because it's wet. And I'm going to bring in some light over the bottom half of those eyes just to give them some illumination. That's the water of the eye, changing the pigmentation, sort of heightening the value and diffusing it. You can put in another little light just along the bottom. Okay, I haven't touched the nose at all because the nose you drew was perfect. If I don't talk about it, then it's done very, very well. So I'm going to show you the before and after. It's going to be quite a change. What you had before was a little bit, if I had been there every single one of those days, then I would have just told you not to make those mistakes and you would just let go of them. So some are just leftover mistakes that I hope have been covered today. I'll be uploading this on YouTube if you want to take a look at it again. So, before, after. Sort of the realistic version of what you had drawn. Let me see what people are asking. They're called Venus something. Called Venus dimples or Venus dots. Thingies that that girls have on their back. These are hella dope. The dimples of Venus. Yeah, cranium. It's like watching magic happen. So that's enough Google for now. So any questions about the before and after? Is Alex with us today? Is Alex taking an alias right now? Or the top of the head seems a bit square. That's because the canvas was cut off too early. If you guys don't have a large enough canvas, you're going to try to fit everything in. So you need to really give yourself some space so that the squareness of the head was a result of the canvas. What the fuck did I just do? Oh. It's because the canvas is too short, and so you compensate. You're trying to fit everything in, and you just go and do something silly like make the head squared. So just gonna give it a little bit of an elevation. Push those corners in. See? Seemed like it was like, please don't touch me, corner. Can you show the before and after again? Before. Oops. After. External gamer. Can you look over my logo and help me improve it? Absolutely. Why don't we highlight the center of the forehead? There definitely needs to be, good question, Esma. There definitely needs to be some more contrast near the top area. Absolutely. External gamer, I can help you improve your logo. It doesn't have to be about portraiture and severe art here. It can be something as simple as logos. I worked in logo design for a while, so I can definitely help you with that. So a little bit of extra contrast just at the very top of the forehead moving down, and that would be it. That's it. Don't bring up any more, because again, most of the time foreheads aren't that visible, and what might happen is if you raise this ladder and bring in a too high contrast, what it will force you to do is like, oh, I can go really light now. Let me go really dark. And then you'll bring in this unnecessary amount of contrast. Let's look at the lightest light we have and the darkest dark we have. That's the extent of our contrast here. In the entire structure of the face, that's the extent of our contrast. Let's carry this level right here, this mid-tone. Let's try to make skin out of it. So it's right here. Skin would hover in this area. You see? This is a good tone to be in because this is the base tone that you want to have for skin tone. Let's look at, damn it. Let's look at the lightest spot over here. We're going to move it up into the yellows just a little bit. Going to move it into saturation just a little. Heighten it. Because when we add color, we add saturation, so we have to go a little bit lighter. And this is a really good highlight tone. Of course, you have to choose your yellow, the lightest light, the color of the light source, and blend it in with that, and I've talked about that in my video. There's also a white. Depends on the kind of skin you're painting, really, the Caucasian skin. But this is a really, really good palette that we're drawing here. You want to always keep your ladder as not contrasty as possible. You want to keep your contrast low. So if you're going to bring in any highlights on the forehead, make sure you're not jumping way too high. See, this is just a small little jump. If you guys, if I told you, if I give you the green light, okay, bring in some really bright shines on the forehead, y'all would just go over here and just do this. Yeah, Istebrak lets me. Yeah. I swear you guys would do that. I don't trust you even the smallest bit. That's why I'm not giving you the green light to bring in high contrast too soon. I never give the green light for that. So before, after. Do you see where the eyebrows were? They were on the outside of the face. And then we brought them back towards the inner corners. And that's that. That might be it for today. Just a little bit winded right now. I'm so sorry, guys. I did want to look at this as well. I need some color correction. Ista, can you help me improve my quality of life? Sure, we can start with cleaning and then go to cooking and then go to financing and then we can talk about body image and then we can do some therapy on your past. That one time you got stuck in the closet and couldn't get out. Raffle, you can stop shit posting. Instant quality. What? I don't have a comeback for that. She looks like an actress. Yeah, Natalie Portman. Yeah, Natalie Portman. I had no idea the forehead highlight was shaped like that. Yeah, you probably would have just put a big dot, right? Right, Deputy? Yeah. Okay, maybe I can just do a quick color correction here. I'm going to go into color, and I'm going to get green because green is the opposite of red on the color wheel. I'm just actually going to get a green. What I'm going to do, it's a kind of a gray green. What I'm going to do is just this. This is where that skin needed to be. Especially against that gray background. I'm not even sure why you brought in such a pink. He had some intense highlights going on as well. So be careful with that. You also need some color. You need some yellows, color correcting the highlights. So I'm going to bring in some yellows onto areas the light is touching. And I'm going to throw the rest of those yellows on the rest of the skin. And then I'm going to bring in a red on the color mode. A red, but you see this red is more purple than this red. And what we want to do is go all the way up to this side and then go down to the purples, and that's what I'm going to place in the shadows. I'm going to place a little bit of that purple on the nose, on the lips. Actually, no, not on the lips. And then I'm going to get a red and place it everywhere else where I feel like we need some blush. So the lips. Now I'm leaving the reds only where I need them. A little bit on the nose. Just on the very tip. It's too much. And on the waterline. And on this severed arm. That's freaking me out. Okay, so flatten image. A little bit more color correction. I'm going to bring in a peachy tone. Something a little green, so I'm going to push it up toward the yellow. I don't have to go to green in order to get some yellow. And again, really low opacity, and I'm just going to throw it over the rest of the skin. And I'll show you your before and where you had your colors before. It's kind of going to be a little bit of a shock. But this is the combination of skin. You know, this is how skin is. You don't just get a pink or a light pink and expect it to work. Skin is a combination of so many tones. Blood and influencing the skin. All kinds of light environment factors. All of that affects skin. And you have too much contrast. So this entire skin area here needs to be lit up a level or two because it's just too dark. It's too dark. Skin doesn't do that. Yeah, maybe around the eye because of the highlights. I mean, because of the makeup. But skin doesn't have this level of contrast. Especially if you're painting. I mean, in a photograph, maybe, because photographs are edited. And exposure is a big factor in that. Okay, so ready for the before and after? Before, after. Did you see how much pink you had, bro? Before, after. Before, after. Okay? So, so you guys, if you want to, that escalated quickly. If you guys want to sort of know exactly what it is that I did, please just rewatch the video and go step by step on my correction. So what I did first was just throw the green in, and what that sort of developed for us is really good base for the beige, because the beige doesn't have that much red in it. It's got more yellow and orange than it has red. What you had before was way too red. Bye bye guys, see you later.